Spyro. My favorite platformer slash collectathon franchise of all time. Well, mostly the first 3 games of the franchise. You see, the main game loop of these games consists of you mostly going around as our snarky little purple dragon here, Spyro, torching, ramming, and gliding our way to find all the treasure in the land, as well as some other secondary collectibles. This was the staple gameplay loop, at least for the first 5 main installments of the series. Today, we're going to be taking a look and deep dive on the first Spyro game that made the jump from PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2. Spyro, Enter the Dragonfly, aka Spyro 4, aka the worst Spyro game in the franchise. Or at least so I've heard. I want to go back and see if this Spyro game really gets all the heat it deserves. I mean, it can't really be that bad, am I right? Now, I'm not going to go through the history of Spyro or the development of this game. There's already plenty of videos explaining why this game is the way it is. No, I'm just here to experience the game for what it is, and give my opinions and analysis. I am the Nasblast, and welcome to my nasty analysis of Spyro, Enter the Dragonfly. Now, Spyro 4, which is this game, takes place after Spyro 3. Who would have thought, am I right? Well, I mean right after. Spyro and the gang are celebrating the murder of the third game's final boss, the Sorceress, right in the beginning cutscene. Alright, not how I would have started my game, but anyways, I guess this is a good way to show off the vibe of this game. Because as far as cutscenes go, it does not get better than this. Let's just continue the cutscene and observe and experience this spectacle of pure cinema.
Right, Sparks.
So, we meet again, little dragon. I'm back, and I'm stronger than ever.
Who are you calling little, Shorty? Nobody invited you.
This is, of course, Ripto, the main boss of Spyro 2 and now this game. Not sure how he survived being thrown into lava, or how his minions Crush and Gulp survived, but here we are. And why is Gulp talking?
Oh, yeah. What do we want this time, boss?
This man did not talk before, and why does his voice sound like he didn't get enough breast milk as a kid? Honestly, best part about this cutscene is we get a shout out to my boy Nasty Nork.
Unemployed in Molten Crater, begging for work from Nasty Nork.
Gotta love him. And this right here is what leads to the main premise of the game.
Since I've had enough to do with dragons, I thought, perhaps, dragonflies.
I don't know how he did this, but they are gone. Even Spyro's buddy Sparks.
Spyro, that little lizard totally stole all the dragonflies. Even Sparks is gone.
Bianca, though, this bunny chick, just so happens to know where Sparks is. And it turns out he's literally down the hall. Great job, Ripto. But anyways, this just leads to Spyro obtaining the ability to use different types of breath from Bianca, which is the coolest thing introduced in this game, and the only gimmick from this game that continues on to other games after this. However, of course, you have to unlock them first. So right now you just have basic ass fire breath, but not for long. After the horrendous cutscene ends, we get planted into the first and last homeworld of this game. Yeah, unlike the 3 games that predate this one, that all have between 3 to 6 homeworlds, in this game you're stuck with just the one. Which honestly wouldn't be too bad if it was treated like a big open world map with many levels to run around and find. But there is not much to explore here. The only thing to find around here are 10 dragonflies, which of course are the main collectible of the game. But you also get one special item right off the bat. You don't even gotta do anything, it's just right there in front of you. The first dragon rune. An item used on this here crystal dragon to obtain Spyro's first new breath ability. And the most important one of the game. The bubble breath. Yeah, this shit sucks. It's the main tool you use to catch dragonflies, and just look at this. Get over here, dude. Oh. Get in the bubble, dude. Why did it have to make a whole breath? Why couldn't I just touch him? Why could I not just like fucking bite him or something? Oh, jeez. First of all, it's almost impossible to be accurate with this breath. It just goes everywhere, except for right in front of you where you want. So catching dragonflies using this breath is more luck based than anything, especially since sometimes I clearly hit the dragonfly but the game just does not register it. And there are a ton of dragonflies that you have to chase down, and you can't charge and breath at the same time, and walking and using the bubble breath just makes the bubbles trail behind you. You remember the annoying egg thieves from the original and third game? Yeah, well, imagine more than half the collectibles you had to chase down like that, and you can't even ram them or use the fire breath to get them. This bubble breath is probably one of, if not the worst aspect of this entire game. Well, anyways, after getting the breath and Sparks stopping you to talk, we can finally run around and explore this homeworld. Oh, okay, Sparks, okay. Seriously, why the fuck is Sparks stopping us to talk so much to tell us basic information? Oh my god. And this happens a ton throughout the entire game. Okay, Sparks, thanks. What are you gonna tell me now?
So where exactly do I find
this is
these
great.
butterfly sparks?
Oh, what you gotta say now, Sparks? This is just a sample. Alright, enough of that tangent. Let's just look at this homeworld known as the Dragon Realms, which would be a cool name if it actually felt like it was a dragon realm. No dragons to be found except for literally the one dragon that's here. Truth is, there isn't much to see here. It's pretty basic in design, at least this first section, but the other two sections are not great either. The first is a basic grassy area with a stream going through it, and that's pretty much it. Then it goes to a small yellow pasture farm area connected to the beach, which is a little bit better, not by much. And then lastly, the third section, a rocky mountain area that goes into an icy peak, and that's pretty much this entire homeworld right here. Not much else to say about it. Like I said, the only thing to find here are the 10 dragonflies, and of course the gems, but they have almost no use at all. But we'll get more into that later. One thing I will get into right now is the fact that there are only 90 of the main collectibles in this game, which are dragonflies. 10 per world, counting the homeworld, which, yeah, that means there's only 8 worlds / levels in this game. Now, let's do a little comparison here. You know how many worlds were in Spyro 1? A game that was made 4 years earlier and on an inferior console? 24 worlds. Not even counting the speedways. That's 3 times the amount of this game. Well, you might say this game's levels have mini games and stuff in them, so they're much bigger levels altogether. Well, all you gotta say to that is Spyro 2 and 3 also had mini games in their levels. And 3s were pretty similar to this game, where they were portals that led to whole other areas. So how many worlds did they have? Well, again, not counting the speedways, Spyro 2 has 18 plus a bonus world, while Spyro 3 has 20 worlds, a bonus world, and multiple different characters to play as with their own mini sections. And what about the collectibles? Well, let's compare those real quick too. You see, each game has a different main collectible and sometimes a side collectible as well, right alongside the gems. Spyro 1 had 80 dragon statues as the main thing, and then 12 dragon eggs on the side. Spyro 2 had 14 talisman and 64 orbs to collect, which Spyro 4 actually has beat in straight numbers. However, most of the collectibles in Spyro 2 are only acquired through minigames or reaching the end of the level, and not just stumbling on them. There were a couple like that in the homeworlds, but they were treated as super hidden secrets. And lastly, Spyro 3, which is the best to compare to Spyro 4 because they both focus on one collectible, and it's used as minigame rewards, beating levels, and just randomly finding them in the areas. In Spyro 3 you find dragon eggs, and there are a whopping 149 of those. It's sad when you really look at it because Spyro 3, a game released on the PlayStation 1, has straight up more content than this game on the PlayStation 2. More levels, collectibles, more characters to play, more minigame variety. Only thing Enter the Dragonfly has going for it is the new breath types for Spyro. And so far, that's the worst part of the game. Alright, I've rambled on long enough about this game without even getting to the first level yet. So, let's go ahead and get right into it. This is World 1, Dragonfly Dojo. The first level of a game is usually the most important, and this game seems to know it, considering this is the main world scene in the title screen. This is a big statement for a Spyro game, honestly, considering the first 3 games all had title screens that took place in arguably the best worlds in those games. Skelos Badlands for Spyro 2, Fireworks Factory for Spyro 3, and the Magic Crafter's homeworld for Spyro 1. All very good, very iconic levels. So, does Dragonfly Dojo hold up like those do? Well, I do think this world is one of the better ones in this game. You know, comparatively. It'd be nice to show it off once Sparks stops fucking talking to me. Why you gotta tell me, dude? Why do you have to tell me? I already know. Yeah, Sparks, thanks. The Japanese level design and atmosphere is a cool theme to go with, and it would have been cool if the whole game had Asian inspiration and give the game a little character to it. Give it a cool theming to make it more memorable. The level itself isn't bad, almost feels like an actual Spyro level, and they're trying to make it that way, especially since it's the only level in the whole game that has 2 returning aspects from the other games. The fact that you have to awaken crystal dragons, like the first game, but it also has money bags. This guy right here, and he does what Moneybags does, and gives a use for all the gems you collect on your journey. Here you need to pay him to open up a bridge, which, is a thing he tends to do. The only thing is, this is the one time in the entire game he makes an appearance. Why? It's like they legitimately just forgot about him. It's kind of wild. They gave him a whole redesign and everything, as well as gave him magic powers for some reason. With him only being in this one part, this makes it so gems in this game literally have no use. Only if you're trying to 100% the game, but not worth it. Even Spyro 1, a game where Moneybags doesn't exist, you still needed gems to progress. You need at least like 1200 to get to World 3, and then you needed 6000 for the final world. Here, you literally don't need them at all. Only thing you need are dragonflies. So yeah, that's a big fumble, making the most abundant collectible and satisfying part of the game pretty much meaningless. There kind of is another collectible in this game, but they're not necessarily hidden or a challenge to get. One of which is in this level, that being dragon runes. And this is probably the best hidden one in the whole game, but that's not saying much. This one gives Spyro the electric breath, the best new breath out of all of them. Also, we haven't even beat the first level yet, and we've already got 3 out of the 4 elemental breaths you can unlock in this game. 2 out of the 4 dragon runes. So yeah, making that progress. The last thing to look for in these worlds are the minigame portals, each world having 2, most of which aren't really hidden, they're just kind of there. The first one we found in this world leads to a speedway, which in the other games were their own separate levels, but I digress. Anyway, they're about what you'd expect. I was never really a fan of the speedways in any other games as a kid, so these here don't really get me too excited. But I'd say they're about on par, I guess. The regular speedways are super easy, just gotta hit all the objects in order before time runs out, like usual. Not much has changed. So yeah, one minigame was the speedway. Now let's move on to the second minigame of this world, which is the tank level. And let me just tell you, these hurt my soul. Just watch. This is actually fucking bullshit. Why does it randomly switch back? This is like one of the worst. First of all, these controls are just so wonky. Aiming is ass, especially when there's invisible walls. Oh, come on. What? Okay. You see the bullshit right here? As well as the shots not going where you aim sometimes. And for some godforsaken reason, the bunnies that litter this stage, for health reasons, sometimes pull my shots down toward them, like randomly. Why? Why is that a thing? You see that? It angles down. It's not even hitting it. It's not even blowing up the bunny, but the bunny is pulling the shells down. The regular enemies don't do that. What is going on? These sections are so long too, with such janky tank controls, it's just bad. Now this level as a whole isn't too awfully bad, especially next to some of the other levels in this game. The main segment is like a below average Spyro world. Nothing too crazy to make it memorable, other than that horrible tank minigame. Can't run. What a way to go. With that being said, it's time to leave. Get our electric breath and then make our way over to the first elemental gate to access the second third of the map. Yeah, already after World 1. This location introduces the next couple levels. Level 2 being Crop Circle Country, featuring a farm being invaded by aliens. Yeah, not a super unique theme, but as far as Spyro levels, it hasn't really been done before. At least like the alien aspect of the farm. There was a farm speedway in Spyro 3 that this is essentially, but at night. But if you want a farm level that's just good, Robotica Farm from Spyro 2 is infinitely better. Just play that one instead. But also, it's not a good first impression when the first thing you see here are these ugly ass farmers. Holy shit. Absolutely horrifying. Why you got them grippers out, dude?
Hey,
You're Spyro, ain't you? Glad to meet you.
I wish I could team up with the Riptocs to fight these guys, seriously. Oh, and I guess this would be a good time to talk about the main enemies of this game, the Riptocs. Not Rhinox, which I continuously called them through my playthrough, considering those are like the enemies in the third game and pretty much are the same but uglier. Yeah, I don't know if they're the same creatures and just working for Ripto now or entirely different species altogether. I don't really know and I don't really care. I don't know why they were added, probably for simple enemy design they could just keep reusing. I think Spyro 2 had the better enemy designs, a lot more creative. This game, you may get one enemy per world that is not a Riptoc, and that's being generous. Like this world, for the most part, is full of Riptocs with laser guns, but around the end, you run into space cows with laser guns. Interesting. For the most part, this world is pretty bland, with big empty areas with almost nothing in them, and not much reason to explore. Most interesting part is the music, which is just weird, but I guess it fits the alien vibe. We also get to see the main use of the electric breath. Yeah, it's used to electrocute pylons. Other than that, it's just fire breath. Awesome. The main goal of this level is pretty much just to get to the end and blow up the barn door to let these cows leave. Yeah, and then just gotta talk to this guy. Here, take this thingamajig. I was going to use it in my new smoker barbecue for flavor. Spyro, just, you gotta kill these guys. You gotta kill them. They're a bigger threat than Ripto at this point. Before we leave though, let's explore the mini games of this world. First up, the trial of platforms. And it's just as basic as the name implies. I mean, it's not the worst. The goal is to hop from these floating platforms and electrocute the pylons to make more platforms come down. The best thing about this is that it's just actual basic platforming, so hard to go wrong. Worst part is a stupid camera angle. Can't see anything, fuck. Oh, get out of my head. You get to the center and fight a normal ass Riptoc, and that's the mini game right there. The second mini game is better, more unique at least. You save cows from being abducted by UFOs by using a UFO. Look how scared that cow looks. The only other challenge in this level involves the first use of the super breath power-up, but invisible walls, man. Gotta love them. Why? So yeah, this level is about average, on par with the last level. With that being said, let's move on. Before we look at the next world though, I want to highlight this challenge right here, right outside the second world portal. This is a time challenge, 1 out of 3 challenges in the home world. All these time challenges are pretty much the same. Run around and use a different elemental breath on something before time runs out. The first one wasn't so bad, and what are these frames? This is the second one right here, where you gotta use electricity. Hopefully I can clear it first try. Sparks! Sparks, why would you stop me? God damn it! Man, when I say Sparks stops you a lot, I am not joshing around, man. Playing this game makes me start to think Ripto was onto something. Fuck these dragonflies. Besides Sparks interrupting my flawless run, this challenge is pretty bullshit. Honestly, the hardest time challenge in this whole game. Oh, I fucked up. Oh no, I fucked up. God damn. Oh no, Spyro, why? I was trying to do the hover. Even the final third one was way easier. And guess what? I got stopped during that one too. At least it wasn't Sparks this time. Oh no, why would I talk to him?
I was Vic.
This is fucking bullshit, dude. This always happens. Right when I'm doing a time challenge, too. The only reason I ended up beating it was through cheese. Can I cheese it? There's gotta be a way to cheese it. Okay. Sometimes cheese is acceptable, especially in a game like this. Invisible wall right here. You know what? No, fuck this one. Now that we got that out of the way, time to go and take a look at the next level. World 3 is right over here. This is Luau Island, and honestly, I don't have much to say about it. It's your average Spyro beach level. Spyro 2 had one, Spyro 3 had one, both of which were better and were more memorable. This level didn't really do anything unique here, and pretty much took aspects of those levels, including reusing the enemies as well, like the Tikis from Spyro 2, as well as using the professor noise for the NPCs that literally sound nothing like them.
Thank you so much, Spyro. I just couldn't have handled being eaten for dinner.
It's okay, I guess. Literal middle of the road Spyro level design and atmosphere. The one minigame I found here was a tiki drumming minigame, and yeah, it's just a remembering game with drum beats. It's used in a lot of games like this. At least it's 2 easy Dragonflies. I don't know if there's another challenge portal here. I didn't see it, and I don't plan on going back to look. It's just not worth it. The hardest challenge I've encountered here, besides the visual bugs, is this stupid Dragonfly right here. Wait, where the fuck are you going? Oh my gosh. Dude, the bubble. I love how when you ram enemies, it makes literally no noise of impact. Oh, you dirty little hole. I just gotta get this little green fucker over here, and then I'm gonna leave this world. How's that not getting him, dude? What? Oh my.
Hey, it's Scuttlebutt.
Scuttlebutt. Oh yeah, and you get another dragon rune here at the beginning. However, it is the worst and most forgettable ability in the entire Spyro franchise. It turns out to be not a breath at all, but the wing shield. Sounds interesting, until you realize it's completely useless outside of one enemy in the game. This move should have just been cut out from the entire game. Honestly, the best, and at the same time, the worst thing about this world is that it's all downhill from here. We start to see this with World 4. Cloud 9, a cloud world all about sleep, having a strict population of bears in pajamas. This is pretty much a shittier version of that one cloud world from Spyro 3, which is probably already my least favorite level from that game. But now to have that again, but with wonkier gameplay and mediocre level design, I am just not about it. Coolest thing is this giant hourglass in the sky that you barely see. The goal here is to turn on all the machines around to power the hourglass, which it doesn't really make sense. I mean, isn't the whole point in an hourglass the fact that you don't need power? Whatever, this level isn't good, which is probably gonna be most of these worlds, but at least the music kind of hits. Stuart Copeland came back, you know, the guy who did the music for the first few games, but of course he stopped after this one. His music is legendary, but this game is definitely the weakest. But it's not his fault at all. You see, he played the levels and made the music off of how they've made him feel. The fact that he did that with this game and it didn't turn out as complete and absolute garbage is just a testament of how good of a musician Stuart Copeland truly is. But yeah, other than the music, this world doesn't have much going for it. The first minigame is another speedway, and it's pretty much the same as all the other ones. Not much to go into. The funnest part of this level, in my opinion, is actually on the way to the second minigame. Yeah, it's on the top of this clock tower that you have to scale through jumping from gear to gear while encountering a dragonfly on the way up. This is okay Spyro gameplay right here. I have really no problem with it. The actual minigame is kind of ass though. Spyro has taken to the skies in a plane, which, why? He's a dragon. Couldn't they just give us super flight and super breath? I mean, give us the old wombo combo? Probably would have felt better and probably would have made this a lot funner in general. But alas, we are in an air battle and the goal is to destroy the big airships. But the little airships are everywhere and they just mess you up. Unless you do the strat where you just fly around the map and shoot at the 4 airships as you fly past them, which I think is what the developers intended you to do. This, however, just makes it mind-numbing and easy, because for some reason they can't hit you if you do this. Like some other levels, the only real challenging part in this whole level is a dragonfly, of course, and it's mostly because of the bubble breath. Oh yeah, and by the way, you just stumble on the last dragon rune at the beginning of this level. Yep, just like that, we have them all. The most unique thing in this game that actually feels like progression, if done right, and we've already collected them all. Now we have the 4th and final breath, Ice Breath. Cool idea, but let's be honest here, it's worse than fire and electric breath. I mean, why would someone ever choose to have 2 hits to kill something over 1? With the ice breath, you have to freeze the enemy and then hit them. With the other 2, you know, fire, electric, it's 1 hit, you murder them. There's only like 1 enemy in this game that is susceptible to the ice breath, and that's in the final level. At least it's not bubble breath, I guess. The only real use of the ice breath is being able to open this gate that leads to the final third of the map. Yep, 4 levels in, and we have all the dragon runes and have unlocked the entire map. For some reason though, the next level is all the way on the other side of the map on the peak of this mountain behind the ice cage. It took me a while to track this one down because I passed a few levels I thought would be the next one to go to, but nope. All the way to the end over here. Weird placement. The worst part is after collecting a few dragonflies and gems, I worked my way up here only to stumble on a glitch where if you walk by an NPC, sometimes, I don't know why, they'll stop you as if to talk to you, but freezes you nonetheless. I just can't even move. I can't press anything. I can't even press the start button. I literally have to restart. Are you kidding me? I can't do anything when this happens. So of course, I had to restart and backtrack all that shit. This, unfortunately, isn't the last time it happens either. Well, now that we're here, let's go ahead and go over World 5, Monkey Monastery. And just straight up, this level is ass. One good thing about this game. What? This is indeed an ice level. Probably the worst in the whole series. I mean, these physics, man. No bueno. But hey, Bartholomew is here for some reason. Remember him from the third game? He was in ice levels. We gotta have him. The objective in this level is to free all the Yetis from their ice prisons. Pretty much the exact same thing we had to do with the ice villagers in the second game, but whatever. This level is just so bland. Nothing unique about it at all. This is just the most basic ice level you will ever see, paired with the worst ice mechanics and bad frame rates. I can prove this is as generic as it comes. This being an ice level, go ahead, take a guess as to what one of the two minigames here is. What is the most basic ice level minigame there is? You got a guess? Well, a big icy slide, of course, with ski flags you gotta pass through nonetheless. And man, does it just feel wrong. The physics feel like you're magnetized to the ground, and sometimes it feels like it's constantly pulling you a certain way. Mostly for me, it was pulling me left. I don't know why. And also for some reason, if you fall off the slide, you don't just die and restart. You literally keep falling until time runs out. Oh! Great. Yeah, just keep falling for eternity, Spyro. That's awesome. This shit is hard enough just because of how grimy the physics are, but after you finish the slide, you are challenged with a second harder version. A version where you gotta hit every single flagpole on the way down. Yeah, not worth it. This minigame is actually giving me IBS. I'm moving on to the second minigame here you have to get to via some long ass glides. Oh no! But to be honest, it's kind of worth it because I think this is my favorite minigame in all of Spyro Enter the Dragonfly. Mostly because Spyro is in a plane, except this time put to good use. Having him just carpet bomb an entire Riptok civilization. Awesome, I like this. And the best part is out of all the characters that could have given Spyro this mission, it's just little baby dragon right here gives it to him. She is the MVP of this game. This right here is the best the game offers when it comes to minigames, and especially this level. And man, I really do hate this level. Not just because it's bland and boring, and an ice level, but for some reason, I had the most amount of game-breaking glitches happen here. Like for one, I got stuck on some ice right here just out of nowhere. I was just sliding and I just got stuck, and I had to restart the level. What is going on? I literally have to restart again. Are you kidding me? Spyro, don't you fucking look at me like that. And after running around trying to find all the Yetis, I go back to talk to Bartholomew over here, only for the same thing that happened when I tried to enter the level happen again. Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me right now? This is the fourth time. This is the fourth fucking time. Yup, at least this time it lets me push start so I don't gotta completely restart the game. I just gotta restart the level. I just gotta go through these long ass loading times again and run all the way back through the level again. But when I finally do that, I encounter the second cutscene of the game, which, I mean, feast your eyes on this. It just shows Ripto and his henchmen talking. Honestly, a pretty worthless cutscene, and they shouldn't even have wasted their time on it, because this is the last cutscene we see, at least in my playthrough, because the only way to get the last final ending cutscene is if you want 100% the game. And I'm telling you right now, no fucking way I'm doing that. Well, after being graced with that visual masterpiece, we are back here at the homeworld, where we gotta find out where the hell the next level is. Not this one, before I run all the way back. Sparks, can you catch that firefly already? Or the butterfly? Sparks, just cut. After looking around for far too long and having to journey across literally the entire map, on the complete opposite side of Monkey Monastery is the next world of the game. Talking to this country gator that glitches reality allows us to enter the 6th world, Honey Marsh. To be fair to this world, it's probably the most unique aesthetically wise in this game. The only other level this is like in the original games is Honey Speedway from Spyro 3, and that of course is a flying level, not a legit Spyro level. It's honestly like a fusion between that and Spooky Marsh, also from Spyro 3. And for the most part, the layout actually feels like it could be a Spyro level. The main mission here is to turn off these honey drainers, but the thing is, I don't know if this is just me, but I had no idea these were the things we had to turn off. There's not like there's a switch or pylon or anything that shows it's interactable, and they're so big they seem like part of the environment. You're supposed to use your fire breath on them, and in turn it makes the knob stop spinning, but other than that there's no visual difference to tell you they're off. You know, I would have thought maybe they explode or something, but nope. So I spent some time backtracking through this level, which really dampened my mood of this level on a whole. Doesn't help that there's a lot of janky honey platforms too. Oh, Spyro. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? And the most annoying Riptalk enemies, which are these dumb, bull-headed children with piss guns, which hold an absurd amount of piss, with precision aiming nonetheless. Whoa, what the hell? Is that piss? Are you shooting piss out of that gun? There are a few challenges in this level, and all of them are very poor. The first one takes place in the base of the level, where you gotta shoot rocks at beehives. Problem is, sometimes the rock just doesn't want to spawn in the pile, and other times it does spawn, but it spawns floating above the pile where you can't reach it. Otherwise, if the rocks worked right, pretty simple and easy. Now the other two mini games are just pretty terrible and are competing with the ice slide as the worst of the worst. One of which is another slide, the honey slide. The shitty thing about this isn't even the slide itself, because the slide is pretty easy. The objective is to beat the bee at a race, and he goes pretty slow. The shitstorm erupts when you get to the bottom, and nothing happens. Like, I beat the bee, man, but I still don't win? Even trying to talk to the dude doesn't work. And then eventually the bee just makes it down, forcing you to restart because, of course, you lost.
Chase the bee again?
Wait, what? How am I supposed to catch him? And this isn't a short slide, and it's not really fun either. So I started testing different things, like attacking the bee maybe, but you can't do that. Or try to stay close to the bee. Maybe he's got to be like right behind you, or you got to make it down with him. I don't know. None of which worked, and I really didn't want to do the slide anymore. I can't jump or anything, dude. What?
Too bad, Spyro.
What? So I looked it up to see if anyone else had this issue, and apparently this is a common occurrence. The farmer down here is apparently supposed to get a signal above his head when he finished the race, but most of the time it doesn't trigger. And the only way some people get it to trigger is to approach him from a very certain angle, and hopefully it might show up for you. But you know, in the end at least I actually stuck with it and beat the minigame. Unlike the second minigame, Portal, this is a tank game, and it's way worse than the other one. Not only is this one timed, but the enemies are more abundant as well as stronger and smaller. Also, the aiming is just complete donkey dick. It randomly just takes me out of aiming mode. Oh my god, dude, just let me stay in scope mode. And then the godforsaken invisible walls. Why is the invisible wall so close to the real wall? Dude, this is about to make me completely and utterly rage. Yeah, mark this one down as another minigame that is just not worth the time and effort. On that note, I think it's time to leave Honey Marsh and tackle the last couple worlds and get this game over with. Continuing on to the 7th world, Thieves' Den. Cool concept, interesting to see where the thieves reside and hide their treasure, and even has a cool gimmick with treasure that comes to life. You don't see that in any other Spyro game. It's only green gems and baskets that come to life and are super noticeable after running through after dying because they respawn like normal enemies while normal gems do not. But still, cool idea, just executed very poorly. Something that could be said about this level, shit, probably this entire game. Now, aside from theming and living gems, This world is fucking horrible. Oh no! Oh my god. I have PTSD going through editing this just because I don't want to experience it ever again. I hate this world, and it may be the worst level in the game, as well as my worst Spyro experience I've ever had. And it starts with Sparks stopping Spyro again. And he delivers the worst news, telling us that the only way to kill these magical Riptocs, that we have to kill every single one of them to beat the level, is to deflect their magic back at them, using, of course, our wing shield. Yes, they are the only enemies you need to defeat like this, and I can't even begin to explain how horrible the aiming on this shit is. You can even be like right dead center in front of them, and it still misses. Give me a best shot, dude. Come on, do it, dude. Do it, dude. Why is the aim such ass? And you can't just hold it down either. You can't just hold your shield down. There's apparently stamina involved here, because after a while, Spyro just stops shielding. When has a basic Spyro ability ever had stamina? Spyro can ram and breathe fire as much as he wants. He doesn't even have stamina for swimming underwater like a air ball or some shit like in Mario. And wild enough, this isn't even the worst thing about this level. No, that spot is reserved for this beyond shitty respawn point. So like halfway through the level, the only respawn you get is right here, in front of the longest ramp in Spyro history. That leads to a pretty tight jump that's hard to see the edge of because of the shadows. So every time you die or miss this jump, you get spawned right down here, where you are forced to go all the way up this extremely long ramp. And this map is a circle with cliffs you have to jump off where you can't go back the other way. So once you get to the end, you have to come back through this way to continue exploring. And trust me, you will be exploring this level, considering you will be trying to find that last scumbag Riptoc. For whatever reason, he is hidden behind the one breakable wall in the entire game. I can't tell you how many times I've gone up this fucking ramp trying to find this Riptoc. So much time wasted on such a bad game. Oh, and to top it off, invisible wall. Oh, what? Oh, that was just straight up an invisible wall right in the way. What? All the way back here? Just awesome. Let's just go over the two mini games so we can leave this level. The first one is an Oasis Speedway. Phenomenal. Second is another platforming segment, a lot like the one from the farm level. This one, however, has a lot more pylons you gotta electrocute, starting with this Ferris wheel one, and then working your way to this giant section with a ton of circling platforms. Real talk, this one tests your patience. It takes so long, and it only takes one slip up and you're all the way back at the beginning. Oh, that was close. That was so close. Oh, no! Are you fucking kidding me? But it's not the worst minigame, and at the end, you're rewarded with another regular-ass enemy to fight. With both the minigames done, and all the Riptocs dead, I just leave. And now, only one level to go. All I gotta do is go back through this path, and... what the fuck? Well, after restarting again, I can finally journey over to Dr. Whiskers over here and begin the 8th and final world of the game, Jurassic Jungle. This is, of course, a dinosaur-themed world. I guess this is where the Riptocs came from? I don't know, I doubt the developers even thought of a backstory for them. The main goal is just to get through this gauntlet of a level and destroy all the robot dinosaurs with your freeze breath, finally giving it a use on an enemy. It's such a shame what they did with the freeze breath, man. I mean, both Spyro 2 and 3 had sections where you used freeze breath as a limited power-up and gave it so much more use, especially Spyro 3, that had a whole level around it, giving it more use by being able to turn enemies into platforms, getting to areas you couldn't get to otherwise. This game doesn't do anything like that. But yeah, giving the ice breath a little bit of a use wasn't the only thing this level did alright, I guess. Might be the best, platforming-wise at least, except for some of the obvious jankiness. The level was more creative too, going through different environments. Starting in the jungle, then going through temple sections, as well as jumping through volcanoes, even ending up inside a giant volcanic cave. I would go as far as saying this is the best looking world, especially better than the worlds that are the same bland environment over and over again, like the ice, beach, and farm levels. The challenges aren't as creative though. The first basic challenge is right here, where you turn invincible and kill these metallic lizards over the lava. even though Spyro doesn't even glow red like he usually does when he resists lava. And the two main minigame portals aren't much better. The first one leads to a volcano tower, almost like the one from Spyro 2, except this one, of course, is some cheeks. Oh shit. Oh. Okay, that's not a time bar, that's health. This is actually impossible. What the fuck? Okay. Okay. Spyro, please. What is this? It's like glitched right here. What? Oh! Awesome. Awesome. And the second portal is another slide. Like we haven't already had two of those. I guess to be fair though, this is the best slide. The goal is just to get to the bottom, and it gets pretty intense. The only real intense thing in the game that isn't completely because of jank. Even the music is a banger. Close, close, close call. Oh shit. It's like a Mario Kart track. This is kind of intense. Close, dude. I can feel it. I can feel it, dude.
You made it just in time, Spyro.
This volcano slide is honestly one of, if not the best segment in the game. But, I mean, I did get lucky a few times, and I beat on my second attempt. I'm sure other people have had worse stories about this minigame, but I thought it was alright. Probably the best praise I've given this game so far. So of course, right after I ended that, I ended up running into the NPC glitch again, right at the end of the level. No, not that glitch again. Are you kidding me? Forcing me to restart and go through the entire level again. Now I know I said this level was pretty good in comparison to the rest of the game, but it's still an Enter the Dragonfly world. So backtracking is still a pain no matter what. Anyways, after finally getting to the end again, we can finally say we have completed the final world of the game. At least enough to where we've unlocked the final boss portal, which FYI, if you wanted to speedrun this game, you could literally access this boss room at the very beginning by ground pounding on the edge of the portal, so none of this honestly was even needed. But if you do it the legit way, you need at least 70% of the game completed. Luckily, I've like 80-something% done, so I qualify. Thank God, no more backtracking. So here we are, at the final and first boss of the game, Ripto. What about Crush and Gulp? They didn't show up at all as bosses. They showed up in 2 cutscenes. They don't even have a physical presence in the game. They're nowhere to be found. Why were they even included? Alright, whatever I guess, it's just Ripto, and no cutscene, just some dialogue, and we're right in the fight. This boss fight is not fun, and horribly unentertaining. Are you kidding me? My crickets are just gone. I repeat. Dude, that's actual kind of horseshit. How are you supposed to dodge that? Your fucking windshield doesn't work. What's the point in that thing? Why just start me out with a blue firefly? What the fuck? Okay. Okay, Ripto. What the fuck are you, dude? Can you not? To defeat him, you need to use your fire breath to melt the ice balls around him as he throws them at you. And for some reason, he can just spam the hell out of them. And get this, they track you. What the fuck? I thought maybe I'm supposed to use my wing shield, but nope, completely useless. Doesn't work. The balls just spam through it. Nope, can't even get close enough without getting spammed. And you can't even dodge them most of the time because they track you. Plus the critters that spawn around the arena for health stop spawning. Even after you die and respawn, they just don't show up anymore. But once you figure out the trick, shit goes from impossible to brain dead simple. See, the trick is, Once you get close to him, use your breath, then instantly follow him to attack him, and keep doing that until he reaches phase 2. So yeah, essentially spam the spammer. Fun boss fight. You literally just run back and forth. Just don't even let him get a hit in. Way to do it. Okay. Okay. Where are you, dude? So now he's spawned with no health. This game is so glitched. Oh my god.
Hocus pocus.
In phase 2 is the same deal. Only difference is now he's bigger, has fire around him, and you have to use your ice breath on him. Just keep spamming, honestly, and then he's dead. Let me hit! What is going on? Flames going out? I can't even tell. I have no idea what's going on. This phase was actually easier. Well, yeah, anyway, that is the boss fight. Unless you have 100% in the game, that is. In that case, instead of 2 phases like he did me, since I had only 80%, he will have a 3rd phase, where he gets even bigger and uglier. And then you use your electric breath and do the same thing. Then, of course, you would get a cutscene congratulating you on beating the game and giving the developers the time of day to even consider playing this shitty game. However, I did not get such a cutscene. No, I only had 80% done. So instead of anything like that happening, I just go straight to the credits. Yup, that's it. Boss fight, straight to credits. No cutscene, no nothing. You know, the other games still had ending cutscenes, even if you didn't 100% in the game. But no, not this game. No, it didn't really want to follow too closely to its precursor's footsteps, I guess. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of the game. Now, is it as bad as people say? Has it earned its reputation as the worst Spyro game? Yes, it is bad. And if you love Spyro games, this one will hurt your soul. It feels almost like a single person wanted to make a Spyro game on Dreams or Roblox or something. And if that was the case, I'd probably give it some praise. But nope, this is a legit Spyro game. The one that came out right after the best Spyro games ever made. And this is made by an actual developer. Man, imagine a world where this game actually came out and was made by competent people with enough time, and it was on par with the original games, if not better. Spyro would probably still be a big player in the video game industry like Mario or Sonic is today. But no, this game was the beginning of the end for our fellow Purple Dragon here. When I was a kid, I played the fuck out of Spyro 1 and 2. They were the only games I had for the PlayStation 1. But one day at GameStop, I saw this game. I saw it and I couldn't believe there was another one for PlayStation 2? Awesome! Sure enough, I ended up getting it. And even back then, a simple-celled organism like my child self could tell that this was just wrong. This is the first Spyro game I played a little bit of as a kid and didn't finish it. Only getting like halfway through before returning it to GameStop. And that leads to us here today, where I wanted to double check. You know, give it a second chance. This is, in fact, a truly shitty game. And if you ever want to play a good collectathon game, play the Reignited trilogy. Those are good. Play those. Well, if you made it to the end, thanks for watching, and I'm glad all the time I spent playing this foul game led to someone getting entertainment. I've got some more videos in the works, some of which involve some more Spyro, so if you've enjoyed this one, stay tuned. Oh, and if you want to check out an edit of my complete game walkthrough with commentary, go take a gander at my recently awakened second channel, the Nasty Cast, a place where I will be uploading pure gameplay and low edit videos, if you're interested. But anyways, with that said, I hope you guys liked the video, and I'll see you next time. Have a nasty night, and peace out. There's some aspects in this game where you can kind of feel like at one point they kind of wanted to try to make things a little unique, but for 90% of the game, it's not like that. Oh. See you, Spyro.